3.
Good morning, Luther Jackson
This is Val.
and Emma.
Today is Monday, June 6th, an even day. Welcome to your last week of school, 2022.
Now check out this informative video all about sports. Which one do you think is the best?
One of the most famous quotes ever, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take," was said by Wayne Gretzky, one of, if not, the most famous hockey player of all time. The sport, which is played on ice, is very similar but very different from every other sport to exist. Hockey helps children take a unique perspective on sports. There are 12 players on ice at a time, a goalie, 3 forwards, 1 and 2 defense for each team. The first public hockey game was on March 3rd, 1875, and an official hockey league was created 42 years later. The National Hockey League has 32 teams, with 2 different teams entering the league in the past 3 years. The NHL pulls in many viewers with an average of 2.5 million per Stanley Cup game, which is the finals. Some of the most famous hockey players include Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr, and Gordie Howe, who have a combined 10 Stanley Cup victories. These players have extreme talent, work ethics, and skill for hockey.
American football. Estimated there are about 16 million fans with 66,000 spectators for each football game. Some famous players are Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and Derrick Henry. The annual playoff championship, the Super Bowl, happens at the end of every NFL season. The first event of the NFL was on September 26, 1920. The first team to ever join the NFL was the Green Bay Packers. They are the oldest running franchise in the NFL. The American Football League, AFL, was created in 1959 and was a competitor against the NFL. After 11 years, in 1970, the AFL and the NFL joined together to make a new league. The name stayed as the NFL, but added innovations from the AFL. Currently in the NFL, there are 32 teams. It is split between 2 conferences, the National Football Conference, NFC, and the American Football Conference, AFC. For each conference, there are 4 divisions with 4 teams in each division.
You should box because it's one of the oldest sports and one of the best. The earliest evidence of boxing dates back to Egypt around 3000 BC. The sport was introduced into the ancient Olympic Games by the Greeks in the late 7th century, when soft leather pieces were used to cover hands and forearms for protection. Boxing quickly grew. Nyagu himself holds the current record for the hardest punch in the world, having clocked in a striking power of 129,161 pounds of force. There have been many legends in boxing, such as Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Robinson, Rocky Marco, and Joe Louis. These boxing greats are one of the reasons so many people watch it today.
Baseball, Americans' pastime. The MLB is like your grandma. Old. It's actually one of the oldest sports leagues in the whole entire world. Started on April 22nd, 1877, with 8 teams. In 1901, they decided to make an opposite league called the AL, or the American League, and called the original 8 teams the NL, or the National League. Baseball is played on a diamond-shaped field where 9 defensive players try to stop the offensive players from scoring runs, which means they get all around the field and hit home base, equaling 1 run. The inning ends when both teams have hit 3 outs. Some famous baseball players are Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Barry Bonds, Ted Williams, and Roger Clemens. Baseball is a pretty popular sport in not even America, but in every country. Over 75 countries have an official baseball league. That's why baseball is not just America's pastime, but everyone's pastime.
Soccer is the most popular sport worldwide. It is estimated that over 240 million people play all around the world. It is played on a grass or turf field with 11 people on each side. The first soccer game was played on December 19, 1863. The game took place in London, England, and ended in a 0-0 draw. After that, both men and women started playing. Although only men's soccer was recognized in the sports world, women's soccer became more popular in the 1900s. As the rise in interest grew, some leagues were formed, such as the Premier League, Champions League, and Copa America. Those are just some of the few well-known leagues.
Football is the third best sport worldwide. This game is normally played on a court inside or outside. Basketball was originally played with a soccer ball. It is estimated that 400 million people play basketball around the world. The first balls were made specifically for basketball were brown. In the late 1950s, Tony Hinkle searched for a ball that would be more visible to the spectators and players alike. Tony Hinkle introduced the orange ball that is now in common use. The first basketball game was on December 21st, 1891. Some of the most famous basketball players are Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Tristan Thompson, and Kobe Bryant. Fun fact, Michael Jordan's legendary Air Jordans used to be against the NBA dress code. Michael Jordan paid an NBA fine each time he wore them, rather than play them without them. Eventually, the NBA allowed the shoes on court. I think all those sports rock.
This has been Emma.
And Val.
Have an awesome day, LJ, and remember, we were as one.